Yo, welcome to another episode of Loco Life, LocoCast. Today we got Marcus Robinson on the podcast today. He's an entrepreneur, professional basketball player. He sells insurance. He's a man of many things, bro. He does pretty much everything.
Yeah. I like to call it, I had a conversation the other day, serial entrepreneurship.
Yeah, serial entrepreneurship.
Coming in from all streams, different avenues, different streets, all the lanes.
Yes. How many streams we got had to be a millionaire?
At least like 6, 5.
6, 5. I think at least nowadays, 7 to 12 at least.
7 to 12, yeah.
It's hard,
it's
nowadays.
not about the million, it's about the billion now. So you got to add a couple more streams there.
We brought us some gear today. We got some T-shirts.
Yeah, that's from one of my brand partners, Academy Threads. Luxury athletic gear.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, this is, we know about clothes. Yeah, this is definitely high quality.
You tell
Yeah,
right
we know
from
about
the
clothes.
touch.
Yeah, we know about
Exactly.
clothes.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. We appreciate it, man. Shout out for the
Yeah, no doubt. We always got to share some love if we can.
So, yeah, man, thank you for coming on today. Tell us what you've been up to.
Today or just in
Like-
general?
Like in the last few months.
The last couple months have been about kind of prepping for 2024. Like 2024 is the year of intention. So just getting my mind and getting my house in order to do work. So one of the newest ideas is the Western Pennsylvania Middle School All-Star Games, which is an approach to identify, highlight, and support our future stars, but not wait until later. Like let's help them as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of like when we got connected.
Yeah, that's how we got connected, especially.
Yeah. So now 10 years later, with more experience, with more support, I have the ability to support more kids. So just trying to, touch as many lives as I can to help improve the experience and the probability of these guys actually accomplishing their goals and accomplishing their dreams.
Yeah, that's really important for young people. That's what we promote on our podcast. We promote like young people to chase what they're crazy about.
Excellent. That's why I got to go loco about it.
Yeah, you gotta go loco.
I really liked what you said, though, about intentionality and that kind of being like your focus for your 24 and just the importance of intentionality, whatever you do,
Exactly.
having like that drive is important, but you don't have the intention behind it. You could be going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
Especially when you're young, focusing on like that intentionality while you're young and really focusing. I mean, especially when you're young, it's very easy to get distracted by a bunch of different things going around. Especially, I feel like with sports nowadays, kids are becoming one sport athletes like younger and younger.
Unfortunately, it definitely changes the dynamics because if you understand the development of the body, it's like you got to develop multiple skills, and
people are just focusing on one skill.
they're focusing on one skill or one muscle group, and that's why injuries are becoming, occurring at a higher propensity now than they were in previous years. So you definitely got to have a balance in life. So you got to have a balance in sports, a balance in nutrition, a balance in finance, a balance in relationship. So if you're not working in balance, then something's going to break.
Definitely. 'Cause that means one thing's putting on more stress than another, and eventually it's not going to be able to take that,
Exactly.
for all that time.
Exactly. So that's initiative 1. Second initiative, we just did our national release with Crossover Culture. We partnered with Dick's Sporting Goods, which is one of our primary retailers on the East Coast, which is a huge opportunity. We partnered with the company in 2018 to sign my first shoe deal, and since then we've just been growing, and then finally got over one.
I've been watching it grow. Over the years.
Yeah,
shoes are fire.
Appreciate it, bro. Got over one huge hump. So it's just about being able to provide a quality product, for the everyday hooper. We won't say average hooper. Right, but every day.
Intentionality every day, working every day.
Exactly, that's me. We good.
What do you like? What do you like most about having your own shoe, having your own line of shoes?
Yeah, I want to hear a lot about that process. You don't hear a lot of people.
Yeah, how'd you get into that?
When I think about having a shoe, I think about you got to be like an NBA All-Star or something.
Right.
But it's not.
But what's the difference between an NBA All-Star and me? Outside of having the opportunity to perform on the largest stage, and those guys telling me I'm an all-star.
Right.
Realistically, if they took a look at my game, I wouldn't doubt they wouldn't consider me to be an all-star. Just didn't do what was necessary to be in a position and take advantage so that I could be an all-star. So, but that's why I do what I do now as a trainer, as a mentor, is I help to, like we talked about, align younger people with the things that they need prior to the opportunity. So when you walk in the door, you're prepared to do what you need to do, rather than figuring it out once you get in the door. Right. So, but the biggest thing with the shoe deal was my primary vision was to bring professional basketball back to Western Pennsylvania, or bring to Western Pennsylvania. So we've had,
we definitely need that here.
Yeah, we've had little hits here and there, but nobody's done the work long enough in order to see success. You know, if you're looking to build a business or accomplish your goal, realistically, it's going to take you at least 10, 15 years, bro, to really get to something that is real tangible.
It's gonna take some time. Like, it's not gonna be overnight.
It's going to take some time. So if you don't accept that challenge, then you're automatically setting yourself up for failure. So, but my goal was to bring to Western Pennsylvania professional basketball, i.e. the NBA. But the goal was, in order to sell that dream or sell that vision, there were certain things that I had to have first. So you're not going to think I'm a professional basketball player if I don't have a shoe deal, right? But if I do have a shoe deal, it at least...
Right. It's a little bit more.
Yeah, like we can at least have a conversation, right? So now if I present this idea to you, it's like, oh, this guy's not crazy. Like, he has a shoe deal. Like, maybe he might really be able to make this thing happen. So second thing was, I needed an arena. So we signed an arena deal, which will be coming here to Western Pennsylvania here soon. Also, it'll be one of the largest youth training facilities in the Western Hemisphere.
That's crazy. So, congratulations.
Thank you. So those were the two things that I knew I needed to get in order to get people to believe and buy in to bringing the NBA back to Western Pennsylvania. So, and what was having this conversation the other day is that people play a huge part in the way the world works. So we could talk about politics. Which president is going to win? The one that the people support.
Yeah, the one that people support.
The one that the people support.
You got to get the support from your community.
You got to get the support from the community. But the one thing that I've identified about the Pittsburgh community, no knock, but we've lost contact or identification with our role in the game. Right? So we could talk about new businesses, new ideas. If you look at the history of Pittsburgh, most industries have roots in Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, music industry.
They don't stay though.
Most
football, basketball.
We'll talk more about that. But most industries have the roots in Western Pennsylvania because there was a time where Pittsburgh played its part. Right? You could come you come to the Burgh and put on a show, and everybody would be around to do what they needed to do or to participate, right? Or take advantage of the experience, whether you're working the event, whether you're performing, or if you're a spectator, if you're commentating. Like, there was no questions about what your role was and if you were going to play it. But now, in our society, we don't exactly understand that part. That's why you can go to New York because New York understands that part, right? Miami understands that part. The bigger cities understand that there's a role that they have to play if you want to see something grow, if you want to see society change. So that is the first initiative, and the first focus is to get back out into the community and get people activated and understand, like, yeah, you can love the game. Yeah, you could be passionate about the game. Like, you could go loco about the game of hoops, and it'll take you some places that you could never imagine.
Right.
But if you don't fully invest in it, then
you're not really crazy about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're like half in, half out.
Yeah, and you don't even got to really be crazy about it permanently, just while you're in
While
it.
you're doing it, just to see, you can't even, if you're not going 100%, you don't even know what your potential could
You don't
be.
even know what it really is if you're not pouring everything you got into it. So that's the primary initiative, is just to get people dreaming, get people believing again in their basketball dreams. So, and the initiative 10 years ago was, I was, 23, 24, 10 years ago. It was crazy. But the initiative was to re-spark or reignite the energy amongst my peers after college. So once the college dreams died out, a lot of guys gave up the game.
That's true, yeah. That's
Right.
that's like a critical time.
I was talking to somebody about that the other day. They're like, they did basketball like their whole life, and after college, they didn't really know what to do.
They didn't really know what to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's having that conversation about what do you do when the game's over? Right.
A lot of people don't know.
Especially, when you dedicate so much, it's such a big part of your life, yeah.
Exactly. And even if you don't get the opportunity to play in a major sports league, professional sports league, if you're competing in high school at a high level, if you're competing in college at a high level, it's very similar to a professional schedule, right? The only thing that's missing is the compensation. It's the compensation. But guess what?
Now they're getting some.
Now they can get compensated now, which is crazy. So
yeah, they get compensated very well.
They can get compensated very, very well. So now the focus, like I said, is just to get connected with the people that have that on their radar and say, you know what, we can really do this if you want to. If you don't want to, then that's fine. I mean, do your thing. But if you really want to do this, let's not play about it. Let's dig into it and let's make it happen, because that's what I've been doing for the last 20 years of my life.
And I really like that you're like very transparent about how long you've been doing it. Like, I mean, kind of like we touched on earlier, like people think it's, you know, that like instantaneous success, or, you know, like it's going to, whatever your goal is, you're going to reach it like, you know, within a year or 2 years. And that's just not the case. And with anything that you love, you're going to be putting in your 5, 10 decades worth of, you know,
it's a life,
because
it's not even decades.
It's not even, don't feel like work. It's ingrained in your lifestyle.
Yes,
it's what you're doing
life.
on a day-to-day basis, no matter what, because you know that's what it takes for you to get to where you want to be at.
Exactly. And go ahead.
Yeah, and the spark training. Spark training definitely works. I remember I was like 9 years ago. I was in your mentor and training like basketball program.
Yeah.
I didn't play basketball at all till like 8th grade. And people were like, hey, yo, how'd you start getting nice at basketball? I was working out.
I know. By the time you was a junior, you was locked in and ready to go. So
yeah, I started basketball super late.
Yeah, so now the blessing in the play is to now take that, right, and spin it, and now I'm going to share the game with you, so now you could bless the next wave.
Get some bread.
Yeah, make it go full circle.
Can you talk a little bit about like your sports journey and how it's led you to what you're doing now?
My sports journey started with my parents. Interesting. Like, I went to Wisconsin and spoke to 100 kids on a native reservation called the Red Cliff Native Reservation in Bayfield, Wisconsin, and had to put an assembly together. And I started with my story, but it didn't start with me, because a lot of what I do, or a lot of my identity, didn't exactly come from me, right? Not right away.
That's a gem right there. It's your story, but it didn't start with you.
It didn't start with me. So I started with my parents' story. So my mother had the opportunity to get a women's basketball scholarship in the 80s, in the early 80s. My father had the opportunity to play professional baseball. My brother received a basketball scholarship to play at Point Park and had the opportunity to compete for a national championship. So having that lineage, and then having the opportunity to be young and watch my brother go through the process, it was like I was chopping at the bit waiting for my opportunity, right? Because my mom didn't take her scholarship. My dad didn't make the Pirates. My brother didn't win the national championship. So what was I about to do? Right. We're going to get the scholarship, right? We're going to win the national championship, and we're going pro, because those are the stories that I had to finish. But in that process, I had the opportunity to compete at a high level in middle school, high school, and then earned a Division I, Division II, and Division III scholarship, which most people don't have that much experience, like that diverse experience. Right. You go one level, you see one level, you experience one level, but it's very different at every level. Yeah. It's very different at every level. So if you can survive at every level, then that says something about who you are as an individual and as a basketball player, because only some people can survive in certain environments, right? We talk. We talk about, or one of the things that I started talking about years ago, and I learned about, were extremophiles. They're biological matter that lives in some of the most extreme environments in the world, i.e. like volcanoes. So there's matter, there's life in volcanoes, but it looks like it's a place of destruction, but no, it's a place of life. Yeah. Not people, but biological organisms and stuff like that. So, but through that process, playing in college, playing in high school, it was like, all right, bet there's more for me to do. So didn't have the opportunity to win a national championship in college, didn't have an opportunity to win a city or state championship in high school. So once I was done, it was like, there's still more to do. So the focus was, I had to first accept that, hey, my journey was over, realistically. Like, it didn't have to be, but realistically it was over unless I made some drastic life changes. At 21, without a degree, having walked away from my basketball team my senior year, having transferred 3 times, right? Not having much basketball experience if you look at my stats on paper. but I was on scholarship for 4 years. I started for 4 years, right? So, but accepting that realistically I didn't have the things that I needed to move to the next level, i.e. professional NBA or overseas. Passed up a few overseas opportunities, but I had a baby on the way. So I had to decide then. It was like, all right, is it about me or is it about who's coming next? So first it started with my family. It was like, I got to start to build for my child. But two, it was like, oh, there's other little babies coming, i.e. this guy. So let me get connected with the next generation. So now when it's their time, they can be more educated and more aligned with the decisions that they need to make.
So would you say that was kind of like a transition in your life where it was less about, I know you said you were earlier finishing out other people's stories and where it's more so transition into this is Marcus's story now?
Yeah. So this is where I started to find myself, right? It was when I started to, open up and start to think about other people. Because it's like in the beginning, it's like I wanted to complete their stories personally. But now it was like I want to help other people complete their stories. And this kind of, I guess kind of my purpose has always been an unselfish purpose, right? But it's kind of one of the things that I've had to identify as an adult is that you can't help others if you can't help yourself. That's one of the games that I'm trying to get people to understand is like, I get that you want to be out here. I get that you want to support others. But if you're not doing what's necessary for your cup to be full, then you don't got nothing to give. You just hurting the next person.
Ultimately hurting yourself.
Ultimately hurting yourself and hurting your environment. So if you need to take time for yourself, don't be mad about that. Take time, be constructive, reload, and get back out in these streets and start, pouring into people. So yeah, my journey has, as I get older, has always never been about me. I've always kind of looked to connect and help and be empathetic and support. That's kind of everything that I do. I mean, I'm a trainer. I sell insurance. It's all about identifying people that have a need or need help and being that intermediate to help get them over the hump.
Can you tell us a little bit about your semi-pro team, the Bullets?
Minor league basketball team.
Minor league basketball team.
Or professional development. Language is so important, I'm learning. So I can't say semi if I want you to dream the big dream. Right? So at least I'll say minor league.
Yeah, minor league, yeah.
Right? That's second, but I prefer professional development because we talked about we got to do some work first before the NBA won't even look at Pittsburgh because the economics of Pittsburgh is not going to add up to what it needs
for NBA.
Yeah, so unless people start moving their money in different areas or in a direction that's going to show the NBA like, if we invest more, we're going to get more out, then it just doesn't show right now. So exactly. So we have a large market. It's just somebody has to do the work to pull for basketball.
The Steelers is doing well.
The Steelers is doing well. The Pirates make it.
Yeah.
The Penguins make it.
Yeah.
Always on the edge of bankruptcy, but they make it.
They make it through.
So
I think we got such potential here in Pittsburgh, too. I mean, just for the fact that we already got Philadelphia as the 76ers. So we could already do the interstate rivalry and all that.
Exactly.
And I feel like, the game, like basketball is popular. I feel like amongst young people, it's probably one of the most popular sports. I feel like right now, just like trendy, even on the internet, on YouTube, everybody wants to,
everybody wants to be like a basketball star.
Either they want to be like a content creator, they want to, go pro, they want to, whatever the case is.
The NBA has done an excellent job marketing what it means or what it looks like to be a professional basketball player, and it's sweet, bro. Like, it's sweet for most, but if you really dig into it, you realize it's not that sweet. So that's part of what I do.
Especially because like a small percentage.
Such a small percentage.
Make it
I know, but that's even an old statement because if you look at how the game is changing and how the game is growing, we look at the BAL, which is Basketball Africa League, which is an extension of the NBA. So now people are like, I want to go to the NBA. But there's only 450 dudes in the NBA. There's only a couple teams, and then there's the G League. So the next best thing that you could do is go to the NBA 50 years ago.
Which you can't do now.
Which you can't do unless you go to the BAL, which is the NBA starting from scratch in Africa. So why would you not jump on that wave
dominate that game.
Yeah, dominate that game. It's the same thing. What's the difference? It's the exact same thing. It's just the NBA from 75 years ago.
And if it's really, you really want your NBA shot, it's like, well, I'm already killing it in your league you have now. Like, what excuse do you have to not?
You can get massive exposure, and it's a bigger market. So you could go and be LeBron in the BAL right now. And
Yeah, because you can't be LeBron here. LeBron
you can't be LeBron.
It's already taken.
It's already taken. You can't be LeBron here. So tip, gentlemen, if you're looking to get to the next level, love the NBA, but there's another play.
Love basketball.
Yeah, love the game. Like, love the game and let the game take you for a ride. It'll bless you. But if you don't let it if you don't go with the flow, then things can get a little choppy. Yeah, things can get a little choppy. So, but after playing in college, like I said, the focus was I needed to do more work. But it was also about helping my friends and family that were around me. So there was an unfortunate epidemic in the late 2000s, early 2010s, where there was crazy gun violence. Like, my friends and family were dropping dead regularly from just being shot in the streets, from the same streets that I would walk. I'd walk the street in the morning and somebody would be shot dead at night. Like, this is crazy. Like, what's going on? So one of the things that I try to do, didn't exactly know what to do, but something had to be done, right? And that's where the Pittsburgh Bullets essentially came from at the end of the day. So it was about recreating that energy around hoop dreams, because if you have a dream, then you have a reason to make better decisions.
Facts.
If you don't have a dream, it's real easy to mess it up.
You don't care about it really too much.
So if you don't have a reason to wake up, then it's real easy to stay asleep. Like, if you don't have a reason to stay in shape, then it's real easy to get out of shape. So the focus was to try and create that motivation so that we'd at least have a reason to make a better decision. It may not make the better decision, but we'd at least have a reason to. And there's probably been, I'd say, maybe, it's been about 12 years. There's probably been about 500 guys, like men, that have come through the Pittsburgh Bullets organization from 20 to, I'd say, almost like 45.
That's a lot of lives to touch.
A lot of lives, bro. Dudes that I never would have met. Like, never would have met. The first year was all my homies. After that, they was gone. And then it was just blessing of new person, new spirit, just somebody that I never would have encountered that came out the woodwork and was like, yo, I feel you. Like I feel your energy. Like, I'm here to support, which was probably the craziest thing that ever happened, because, like I said, the purpose was to create it for the family that I had at the moment. I didn't realize I was going to create a whole brand new extended family through just this exploration of the opportunity and exploration of myself. So it was pretty cool, because I met people from all over the world. Like I said, I traveled to a native reservation in Wisconsin every year, at least twice a year.
Wow. That's very unheard of. People from here.
I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm from the hood.
Super unheard of.
Yeah, like, there's no reason for me to go to a native reservation, minus the fact that
I don't even know where the closest native reservation to here is, honestly.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
What I've come to learn is that my friends and family from the Red Cliff Nation is that they're super passionate about the game of basketball. So ironically enough, I'm currently right now the recruiting and scouting developer for a prep school in Tennessee. So I've been traveling the country trying to get some young hoopers to attend this new prep school in Tennessee. And the hard part is that if you've never been to the next level, you don't know what the next level feels like. Right?
Yeah.
So the next level doesn't feel
foreign to you.
Yeah, it doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel good. Like, it feels crazy. But if you're not used to feeling crazy, then it doesn't allow you to do what you need to do to move into that next level, that next thing. Like, if you think about a person being born, if you think about how traumatic and wild that situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What if the
that's wild. I said, dang, because someone was just explaining it to me. I said, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, bro. What if the baby's like, yo, I don't want to come out. I'm chilling.
Holding on.
I'm holding on. I'm staying in here. I'm not coming out of there. What's going to happen to mom?
She's going to pass away.
And not even just, if you don't want to move into your new thing, how are you affecting the people around you?
Yeah. They can't grow.
Right. And you're hurting them. So, like, move forward. young man, young woman, if you can. So, but coming across that opportunity to go to the native reservation, random shot, somebody hit me online like, yo, can you train and you hoop? I was like, yeah. Got a spot in Wisconsin, 15 hours away. Come pick me up. Cleveland will drive the rest of the way. Never met the dude before this moment. Haven't spoken to him since. Never met him before. Hadn't spoken to him since.
You met him in Cleveland?
Hadn't seen him in person until I pulled up to his house. And it was like, yo, it was something in my spirit that's like, nah, this is it. And then that started this whole wave of, after the 15 hours one way, 18 hours coming back, stayed in 3-4 hotels. That started the whole wave. It was like, no, I got to look for the most uncomfortable opportunity.
That's when you
That's
find
when
stuff.
That's where you find stuff you're not expecting. So
that's really where you grow, because I mean, when you're so used to performing, the standard of conditions you're used to performing, and it's not any adversity forcing you to break your normal or tap into different, muscles or
exactly. And
tap into what you never had to tap into
it's
before.
super easy to be comfortable.
Yeah, if you understand the biological makeup and the purpose of the human body, is the focus is to maintain homeostasis, which is to maintain just that even keel line. So that's what the body and the brain are striving to do every day, so they can make it as easy for you to live. But in order for you to grow, in order for you to overcome, in order for you to dominate your space,
You gotta take that extra step.
you got to challenge it too. Like, because if not, if you
gotta
don't,
challenge yourself.
if you don't challenge your body and you eat whatever you want, what's gonna happen?
Crazy.
right. You gonna lose.
It's gonna show.
Yeah, it's gonna show.
Yeah.
It's gonna show. So even though the body is striving for homeostasis, it's actually a strength, because if you can become comfortable in a stressful or a high energy environment, then your body is gonna normalize that, and it's gonna show from your physical physique and or through what you do. So the more you challenge yourself, the easier it becomes. I was watching this old head. He said, yo, it's easier to be great than it is to be normal, because there's nobody at the top. There's nobody up there. So as soon as you decide to, no, it's not. All you got to do is decide.
I mean, yeah, you gotta get there. Yeah.
As soon as you decide, what did you do?
Well, I mean, if it was easy, everybody would be up there though.
It's not easy to decide.
Yeah, it's not easy to decide. Yeah.
Yeah, the work
You
is.
gotta,
Yeah, I think.
decide,
Yeah,
The work
You gotta
is.
stay committed to it. You
I
gotta
think,
make
the
the work.
decision, doing the work, especially like once shit becomes a part of your routine.
Yeah,
It's not hard anymore. But
it's not hard.
that
But
first initial step
you-
to do something different can be extremely difficult.
can be extremely
Have that
difficult.
discipline and
Especially when you
accountability.
have that thought process of this is what it takes to get this label or whatever. You're already psyching yourself out about giving a bunch of different reasons as to why.
Exactly.
You're just naming things that you aren't at that point, but you can be, but you don't realize it.
Exactly. One of my old heads years ago, brother Bill Neal inducted me into the Connie Hawkins Hall of Fame. Probably like maybe 3 years into my mission. I'm like, bro, what? This doesn't make sense. I'm not a Hall of Famer. I don't got a city chip. I don't got a state chip. I barely did anything in college. But I had the opportunity to speak again for him last summer, and it came full circle. It clicked. It was like, oh, I understand now why I was able to get inducted into a Hall of Fame at 22 or 23 or 21, because he saw the work that I was about to do before I did it. So now it's like, oh, you want to give me an award? Take that. Because I put in the time. I put in the work. I've made the sacrifices.
Yeah.
I've done the stuff that nobody else was willing to do. So now I could see myself deserving it. But at that time, it was like, nah, bro. Like, I didn't do nothing. But he saw that I had made the decision to be great. Right? And the name of his organization is Champions Enterprises. So he saw that I decided to be a champion. And once you make that decision, you're going to be a champion. What's going to stop you? Nothing. Because you're going to keep going until you get the chip.
You gotta get that chip.
Yeah, you're going to keep going until you get the
When you
chip.
get the chip, you're gonna want another one.
You're going to want another one. So, again, the work is really relative. The hardest part is the decision. Is the decision to change.
Especially because everyone's working, but they're not making the right decisions to do something that could be greater value.
Exactly. I was with.
Doing work every day, That's like you said, intentionality. Like you can, if you're not working to get to that next level and you're working to where you're already at, you can't expect to strive and to, jump into that next upper echelon category because you're not doing the work that requires to get there.
Yeah. And it's like you have to prepare yourself now for what's to come. So if you're not moving in a capacity that's going to demand more in your future, then you're not going to get more. But you're only going to get what you're doing right now. Like you're only going to get out what you're putting in. I had a conversation with one of my clients. Shout out my boys over at Winchester. I'm an assistant for the boys basketball team at Winchester Thurston. Put in 3 hours with one of my kids this morning, one of my seniors. And we had the conversation about identifying your superpower. Right. So his first perspective was, well, playing my role. And I was like, no. That's not playing your role. It's identifying your superpower. Identifying the one thing or two things or three things or four things. Because for me, it's multiple things.
Sometimes, yeah. It's not your team's needs.
Yes, that you naturally do better than everybody else.
Once you work on that,
master it, and or you've already at a level of mastery because you do it better than everybody else, but present that and use that to open up the doors for the things that you may not be so good at. But you got to lead with that first.
And that's the beautiful thing about team sports, and not even just sports, just anything in life with a team. I think we always do a lot of focusing on weaknesses. Mm-hmm. And while it is important to identify and know your weaknesses, I think it's more important to hone your strengths because on a team, let's say he's good at his inside game and I'm good at the perimeter game. I don't need to be great at the inside game because I know he's going to pick up for the slack of that.
Exactly.
But if he's not great at the perimeter, I got to make up for that. So knowing your personnel, knowing the people around you, I might not be good at this, but I know this person's an expert at this.
Yep, the self-awareness and the environmental awareness, understanding who you are and how you fit into that situation and doing what you can do to maximize and or improve the output of the success of that situation. And then if you want to be something else, find a situation that's going to allow you to be that. But don't keep trying to be something that doesn't fit the puzzle. Because, again,
it's making problems for you. It's making problems for everybody. And then you can't see the picture because there's a red piece in the middle of this blue square.
Yeah.
This picture don't make sense now.
And as a consultant, it's like I talk to people all the time just about business and about life and just life consulting. And it's like oftentimes we make it hard on ourselves because we're not self-aware and we're not environmentally aware and we're trying to do something that's creating a problem where we are, rather than just doing what we need to do. And then if you want to do something else, like I said, find somewhere else that's going to support that and see that as something as a positive contribution. It's a positive contribution. So
that's crazy. You said though that you're working in you said what, at Winchester Thurston?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I went to high school at.
Dope. Winchester's a special place, bro. It's definitely
the team's different now. Way different than when I was there.
Oh, we hard now. Yeah, we hard. Yeah, we rocking out. We hard.
So you probably know Mr. Fitch.
Yes, I do know Mr. Fitch. I know Mr. Fitch outside of Winchester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know Mr. Fitch outside of Winchester. But no, Winchester is definitely, we put in some work and made some changes. So I anticipate.
Y'all got the new jerseys too. So I said, wow. I said, y'all weren't this fly whenever I was on the team.
Yeah, there's more to come. Don't worry.
This is Adidas. I said, we didn't get the Nike deal yet.
Yeah, this is a year and a half in, bro. We ain't even get to rock the boat yet. So. Oh, yeah. So, but other good things. So as a result of getting the shoe deal, so it was like, all right, bet.
Can we see the shoes?
Can you do it in post-production?
We can do it in post.
Yeah, do it in post-production.
We can just pop up on the screen.
Yeah, I was going to bring some heat, but I'm tired of carrying shoe boxes, bro. I got like 100 pairs of shoes at the crib. I got to remember which ones. I got to wear certain pairs. I got to cycle. It's annoying now. Like, I thought it was cool, but it ain't.
This is too much.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Some pairs that rotate out of the class.
Exactly. So, again, I asked myself a long time ago, it's like, what's the difference between me and LeBron James? LeBron didn't even go to college, bro. He didn't even hoop in college, so I got one up on him for real. Just from the experience perspective. Yeah, LeBron is dope, but he's still a dude. Like, he's still human. He's from around the way. He's not like from the other side of the country or another planet or another. Like, he's right up the way. Like, so he's come to Pittsburgh and hoop. Like, we've been on the same courts together. So it was like, what's different between himself and I right now? And like I said, the primary thing was being able to play on the largest stage in the world and play in front of 20, 30, 40,000 people a couple times a night, a couple times a week. And then it was, okay, LeBron got all these sponsorships and endorsements. He was doing lawnmowers. He was doing aerobics. He was doing pizza. Like LeBron has done all types of commercials. So that was my next play. It was like, bang, I need an arena, I need a shoe deal, but then I need a bunch of other brand partnerships. So shout out a couple of my brand partnerships. So one of my first brand partnerships was with Stride Line Socks, which is one of the top sock companies in the world and has been for the probably the last 10 years.
Those socks are fire.
Yeah. So
I was on the Stride Line stocks early, fast.
early, right? I was putting you on. You didn't even get it. So they reached out to me almost 10 years ago because they saw some of the things that I was doing with the Pittsburgh Bullet, and was like, yeah, let's do some work because we're growing, you're growing, let's support. And that's realistically been the play, is that companies that have roots on the West Coast, it's easier for them to work with me than to try and out the gate get in the retail stores or out the gate, have feet on the ground, when it's like, if we can partner, that's one of the plays here in Pittsburgh. It's like, I love creating, but nah, bro, there's tons of creatives here in the Berg. Let me figure out who's doing something similar to what I want to create, and let me go and support them.
Tap into both of your networks.
Yeah, it's not even tapping into the networks. Like, let me just, if it may not be my vision, I may have just saw it with the idea that I need to go help somebody else make it happen. Sometimes we see stuff and we think it's always for us, and most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's not. Most of the time the blessing is flowing through you to go somewhere else. So if you take greater, note of that, it makes it a lot easier to move into some of those uncertain places, because it's like, I'm afraid, but I got to go for the next man, right? Somebody there is waiting for me that needs to meet me, or there's something that I need to do or some information that I need to get so I can take it back home and change somebody's life. But yeah, we got Stride Line. We got my partner Jamal Robinson started an eyewear company called Clear Eye Vision, CEV. So
I remember you talking about the glasses. Those were really cool.
Yep. So I'm a brand ambassador with him. Some of the things that we've done more recently with the eyewear company is we partner with Dame Dash, and he has created his own signature eyewear brand in partnership with us called CEO, which is...
Yeah, I heard about his brand and glasses.
Yep. So that's through our partnership. Other partners, Academy Threads, like I said, a luxury athletic line, which is the idea is to provide athletic clothes, but at the highest quality possible. So realistically, get the opportunity to transition from the gym to the club and be able to pass the dress code, right? Which is tough.
It is hard when you.
As a tough transition. But to be able to transition from the gym to the club.
Yeah, that's a huge network right there. I mean,
right. So that's the play.
Straight from the gym, go straight to work.
Yeah. So that's the play, is to be able to make that transition and be able to build a line so that athletes, we can still look fly, we can still look good, and we don't got to compromise in any way, or we don't got to break the bank in order to do it. So other partnerships we have, there's like 20, 25 of them, but those are probably my biggest. Shout out Crossover Culture, that's the shoe company. We talked about CEV, we talked about Stride Line, we talked about Academy Threads. And then some of my other partners, we partner with Amazon, obviously, as an ambassador. Partner with anything that I use on a regular basis or was buying on a regular basis. I was like, nah, let me come partner with somebody that's selling it, so then I could get it for free.
That's smart, yeah.
It's true.
So there's very few things at this point that I need to pay for, because I have the ability to sell it to somebody else and, be able to get what I need for my household or my family. So definitely trying to do more business networking and business exchange, because, there's power in that. Like, the dollar is changing, currency is changing. So the people that have the power are the people that are going to have the ability to negotiate and have resources to exchange once, things go where they're going.
Yeah, you gotta go to barter.
Yeah, you got to be at a barter in that transitional period. Because if not,
tough,
if not, money's not going to be good no more.
Capitalize on your skills.
Mm-hmm. Money's not going to be good, and or how we look at and view money and the demand for money is changing. So society.
You need a lot more of it now for.
Hmm?
You need a lot more money now for some of the same stuff now.
Yeah.
Necessities.
And like, have you guys thought about what society will look like when money doesn't matter anymore? I know that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Like, money doesn't matter anymore.
what is society gonna look like?
Just people with the most skills.
I think you'll see people.
Exactly.
Offer value.
Exactly. Whoever can offer, whoever.
Attention.
You'll see people pursuing, you know.
Because attention's value too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people watching you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why so many people pay for like partnerships, sponsorships.
Yep.
Just that attention value.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes if somebody else has done the work, then they deserve to be compensated if you're going to benefit from the experience in some way. Like so it's like again, the equation is you put in, you get out. So the more you put in, the more you get out. It's wild. Most of my blessings have come when I emptied the bank. It's like, can I make this decision? Financially, fiscally, probably not, but faith, wisdom, and understanding says, no, go ahead. And then re-up. the re-up is crazy. So definitely been a very unique journey for me over the last 12 years. And it's only been 12 years. Like I'm still young, and there's a lot.
Still a lot more time in front of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff to do.
Like they don't think about. There's still a lot of time ahead of you. Like they feel like rushed and everything.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've been doing when I was unaware of self and I wanted to get some grounding is I started to study people, like literally significant people, successful people, insignificant people, or even just somebody on the street. Like just taking the time to be more empathetic to their situation, to kind of bring understanding to what I was doing, what I wasn't doing, or what I needed to do in order to get to where I wanted to be. So if you study people, like they'll give you the place. Most people aren't successful until 50, 60. Like solid.
Like comfortable.
Good. Like not a quick hit, not a one-time hitter. Like something that is sustainable and tangible, and it's like, everybody could see it. It's not coming till you're 55. It's not coming till you're 60.
Yeah. A lot of people don't really be noticing that.
I know they do. Diddy does a good job of keeping his hairline, and LeBron does a good job of keeping his hairline. But realistically, that joint's not coming till your hair is gone.
It takes so many times.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not hearing nothing.
So yeah, I came across a meme the other day that talked about Warner Brothers and how they got their grounding here in Western Pennsylvania. And you would never think that one of the largest movie companies in the world that's based on the other side of the country was grounded in Western Pennsylvania. Not even Pittsburgh. It was like one of the surrounding suburbs. But back in the day, if you think about the time, movies and surrounding suburbs, they needed entertainment. Like they didn't have the opportunity to come in and take advantage of the larger things that were going on in the city. So a movie theater was popping in the surrounding area. But Warner Brothers got the experience that they needed, and they got the capital that they needed to then take what they had done here in Pittsburgh and build it out in the West. But they ran like a laundromat. They did like a bakery. They had
avenues.
Yeah, they had like a marketing company. Like they did 15 different things before they figured out everything that they could, until they figured out what was going to work. And then the movies was it. And now 100 years later, they still lit. So
on everybody's TV.
Everybody's TV.
Can you talk a little bit about, so you spent a lot of side of your life kind of within sports as the athlete, and I guess kind of like that transition to learning the business side and more so like, the logistics and the behind the office stuff that, necessarily you don't get to see when you're on the court.
Yeah, so that was one of the unique things about my experience is that I grew up in business. So currently I work for State Farm Insurance, which is probably 150, 160, maybe 175 years old. It's one of the largest companies in the world and has been. So I had the privilege to grow up in the business. So business didn't intimidate me. So that was one of the unique transitions that I had made in middle school is, there's not everybody has the greatest basketball experience, right? And as you get older, you become more self-aware of yourself and your environment. It's like, I don't like that. I don't like that guy. Or I don't like this feeling. I want it to be different. So there were,
self-awareness.
Yeah, the self-awareness. Just all of a sudden, just one day, it's like, no, I feel something and I don't like it. And I'm going to act on it. And people wonder why teenagers are different. It's like, no, or why you're terrible twos or why your 6-year-old is acting. Their mind has grown and they're more aware. So now they have the ability to make more decisions, and we don't understand that. So, but throughout my development, middle school, and I think in college. I wrote 2 papers on comparing professional sports to slavery. Just middle school and college. It's like, why am I doing this? For whatever reason, it poured out of me twice. So with that understanding, it was like, I don't want to be a player for real. I want to be an owner. But I didn't come aware of that until I took time to sit down and look back on my life in hindsight and be like, okay, what have you been doing? What decisions have you been making? What type of relationships have you been having? And have you been having success? And did it get you to where you want to get to? So I identified what worked. I identified what didn't work, and just took a look at some of those self-expressing moments. And it was like, no, I want to be an owner. That's why when it was time to give up the potential of being a player, it was like, oh, okay, I'm all right with this. I'll just be the youngest professional sports team owner in the world at 21. I don't think anybody else owned a professional sports team at 21. So we rocking out. And then once that purpose was identified, then it was like, okay, I could be a hooper if I want to. If I want to. There's no pressure. But the unique thing is that I really, really wanted that part really bad too. So now I had the opportunity not only to be an owner and operate an organization at a high level, but I had the ability to also compete at a high level. So we look at what LeBron's doing right now. What do they call Coach LeBron when he's making managerial moves?
GM.
GM, right? So we think GM is crazy, but it's only unique to this generation. Because if you look at Mario Lemieux, how many he played and owned the Penguins. We look at Michael Jordan. He played and owned the Washington Bullets. I think Jaromir Jagr did it. One of the first to ever do it in history was a guy named Cumberland Posey, who did it in the early 1900s. He was the owner of the Homestead Grays. So young black guy in the 1900s owned the Homestead Grays and also played center field for the Homestead Grays. I'm like, maybe I'm a reincarnate. Maybe I'm a reincarnate because I thought I was crazy coming out because I didn't know the information. But once I started doing the information, I was like, yo, the first dude to ever do it was from the Berg, and he was black. So why wouldn't I step in line? Why didn't more people step in line?
That's right.
If you know the history. So
I don't think people know the history. I didn't even know that. Yeah,
that's the intentionality of society. That's why they put it in a book. That's why they
nobody finds it.
Yeah, that's why they distract you with other stuff so that you don't do the history. Because if you look at the history, then you'll understand.
No, it's repeatable.
But you understand what you need to do and not do.
Yeah, people have already done it years and years and years.
Exactly.
The game don't change that much. It might evolve. It might look a little bit different.
We got 400 years of American history. That's not human history. They say there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years of human history. It's hard to believe, but evidence shows that that's a possibility. I was talking to, like I said, one of my clients at Winchester this morning, and I said, yo, everybody that's made the league is not doing it on their own life or their own experience. They're doing it on somebody else's experience or somebody else's life. So trainers have become more popular now.
Trainers are starting to become more popular.
But that's only as a result of the epidemic of fathers being removed from homes and being removed from positions of authority and or fathership or fatherhood.
Fathers used to train their kids.
Exactly. It was dad. It was the coach. It was uncle.
Dad was the coach.
It was big brothers. Like even the big brothers are getting taken out of the households now. They're not even around no more. Like if you're under like 18, you probably got your own spot, which was different back in the day. So realistically, or you're at least looking to get your own spot or you're living with your friends. You're not at home with your rays no more. You're not at home supporting your little brothers and your little sisters, like which was the standard. Like you became 18, you was raising your little brothers and your little sisters. So you automatically became a parent, kind of, sort of. So, but those dynamics aren't there in the household. So now, mothers and fathers are forced to look outside of the home in order to get that support because people don't have the time and to have that expertise.
The village isn't there anymore.
Yeah, the village isn't there anymore. The village is broken. So it's dope that more trainers have popped up. But the hard part is there's no I wouldn't say there's no control over the environment, but
The environment's definitely in a lot of discourse. And it's a difficult environment to navigate.
because that's why I paused, because I was going somewhere and I was like, let me not say that, because most of the guys that are trainers have some credible basketball experience, but like we talked about what it feels like at the next level. If you don't know what the next level feels like, when I tell you to go do these push-ups or run these laps or do froggers, you're not going to look at me like I'm crazy, or mom and dad is not going to be like, whoa, what are you doing with my son? I don't like this. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's what it takes.
So that's the hardest part, is that there's not enough people that have had the real experience, but their kids are dreaming a dream. So it makes it hard for the kid to manifest that dream, because the parents have a vision on how they want it to go or how they want it to look. And if you
and they would just want like a lot of like the fancy workouts and stuff.
yeah, and if you ain't been there, then you don't know what it looks like and you don't know what it feels like, so you can't really have an opinion. You got to have some faith and have some trust and be like, all right.
Well, you got a trainer, right?
Yeah, do your due diligence.
Trainer train.
Yeah, do your research and then have faith and see the process all the way through. We know if you put in the time and you put in the consistency, if you accept those two challenges and you have the intentionality behind what you're doing, you're gonna be successful. It's not difficult. It's just you got to do those three things. Those things can be challenging, or life can present challenges to make those things more difficult than they have to be. We'll say that because life gets in the way. It don't be the other stuff. So yeah, but like we said with La GM or Le GM, is that he's the first for his generation. So when it was time for me to make the decision, it was like, nah, I'm going to be like these other greats because I want to be great. So this is what I have to do. I got to own my own team and I got to play. If not, I can't even be in a conversation with those guys. But now now I did it. So if the NBA comes, we're successful, then, best case scenario, when I'm an old man on my rocking chair, I could be like, yo, you put me in the same category as Michael Jordan, y'all
I did own and play on that team.
Yeah, like I did it. Like there's research. Take a look at it. So yeah. But definitely want to take the time. Definitely super proud of both of you.
Oh, we appreciate that.
For what you've done, with the brand and with the podcast, and just not being afraid to make the decision to separate yourself from everybody else, right? Because there's a period of time where, you decide to fit in, and then you wonder why, everybody got all the same stuff.
Fit in results.
Yeah. So like we talked about, like we identified today, the hardest part is to decide to be different. And then once you decide to be different, then you can separate and start to, have an experience that everybody else couldn't imagine. So definitely commend you on that, because as long as you continue to make those decisions, then you're allowing life to bless you with, things that the average person isn't going to have the opportunity to experience. Yeah.
I think a big part, I don't want to speak for Kenny here, but a big part in us deciding, and kind of like, even like you were saying with the podcast and coming to this decision was intentionality, and us having the intention of, wanting to be more than just, an apparel brand or more than just somebody that sold shoes.
Yeah.
And so we really couldn't come to the decision, our decision was, the podcast. There's a variety of different avenues we could have took, but, it really did start that intention. It's like, okay, this is our intention. Now what is the best medium to be able to, make this intention flourish?
Yeah.
And, produce the results that we want to see from it.
Yeah. Got it. So yeah, what else you got for me?
Let's see what else I got for you.
Yeah, give me something challenging. Give me, something big. I dropped a couple gems, but I like to come out of left field.
I saw on your Instagram you recently started signing athletes.
Yes.
What can you talk a little bit about that?
So,
and maybe even one of your athletes, the most recent ones.
Of course, definitely gonna shout her out. Definitely holding it down. Crazy, like one of the most phenomenal people I've ever met in my life, and she's 21. Like, bro, it's crazy. But one of the things that I identified on Shark Tank, one of the homies said one day is like, don't start a business, find a problem, solve the problem. So whenever I'm in this creative mood, whenever I get the itch, it's like, I got to do something. I got to do something. I look for a problem and I make the effort to create a solution to it. So what I identified is that, hey, these athletes have the opportunity to get money now. But I don't think they know that they have the opportunity to get money now. So let me create an entity, create an idea so that if you are interested, then you know that I have information to do it, because I've been doing this for over a decade before NIL had even been created. So there was no language for it when I was doing it. So now that the language exists, the idea was to create the Cloud9 branding company so that I can get connected with young athletes and then extend my experience and extend my resource to them. So now it's not going to take them a decade to get what I got.
Yeah.
I mean, you could slide right in right now. So
get 10 years worth of game.
Yeah, get 10 years worth of game.
10 years worth
yeah, like you don't got to start at the bottom of the pay rate. Like you get to start at the middle or the top.
A lot of athletes don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Especially knowing the game and knowing the business are two very. I mean, sure, clearly as you know, two different things.
Yeah. So definitely shout out Samari Perkins, i.e. AKA Coach MP. She's the first female athlete that I signed to the Cloud9 branding company. She is a sophomore at Capital University in Columbus, Ohio. Had the opportunity to be freshman of the year, so we're working on getting a player of the year award this year and helping our team win a conference championship and do well in the national tournament. So far it looks good.
Yeah, already starting out hot out the gate. So
Yeah,
freshman of the year.
Yeah. So she's a sophomore now. She's pretty much averaged a double all year, and she plays as an undersized forward, undersized center. So a lot of talent, a lot of potential in that young lady. So my biggest thing is just trying to make her aware of all that she can do.
Yeah.
And she don't got to wait to do it. Like you could do it right now. Like right now, bro. Like don't wait. Like do it right now. So if you have the passion, you have the vision, you have the intention behind it. So yeah, that's it. And hopefully they just opened it up to high school athletes. So I guess I might start signing a couple high school athletes here soon too.
They open what up to high school athletes?
NILs.
Really?
High school players get paid
That's
too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the marketing platform.
They're getting beat deals.
Yeah, the marketing platform that's been created via just basketball highlights.
I have to get my little cousin in the lab.
Overtime and all those things, yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the dopest partnerships that we have with Crossover Culture is we're partnering with Ball is Life.
Oh, that's.
So every year we sponsor the Ball is Life All-American game. So any of the guys that, were in our game last year, most of them are top freshmen in the country or in the league. So I had the opportunity to sit down and meet with the CEO from Crossover Culture last week. He came to Pittsburgh for the first time, which was dope. So we got a lot of exciting things, in the mix. So get familiar now. If not, you'll be familiar.
You don't know. Now you know.
Yeah, if you don't know, now you know. So definitely when you see the double C's with the net or you see the jump man with the 9 in the middle, then, don't be surprised. If you missed it, it's not my fault.
Heard it here first on LocoCast.
You got it here right now.
Yeah. So yeah, what you got for me? One more thing, bro.
You seen any common challenges in the youth today? Because you've been talking about how you work with you touch so many different lives.
Mm-hmm. Common challenges between my generation and current generation,
or what's currently holding this generation back from doing what they got to do for their guidance that you're talking about.
The hard part
and deciding
is somebody said, "Yo, keep a child in its child's place." But the hard part is there are so many open doors. It's really hard to keep a child in his child's place. Because what's the difference between a child and an adult?
Time.
Time and experience. You could say age, but it's time and experience. Really? But kids now, they have the ability to get access to so much information.
Yeah, on their phone, everything.
And stuff that they have no business getting access to per their, mental and emotional development. So in society and, being a parent, I got a 4-year-old and a 13, it's both of them are two very self-aware periods where it's I gotta move way differently. But realistically, my approach has been to try and be ahead of the curve and have the conversation with them as if they're already doing it and or they already have experience. because I know with mine is like I had the opportunity to do some things prior to my parents talking to me about it. So I had to learn the hard way, and sometimes I did. But either way, I learned. So either way I learned. So my focus is like being that they have access, they have freedoms to do stuff that I could never imagine. Like I have a cell phone until I was a junior in high school. Like and really,
people get phones in 5th grade.
Yeah, kindergarten now.
Yeah, they're getting phones in kindergarten.
Yeah, so it's just that awareness of them having to be responsible for a phone. It's like we have to be responsible for one toy that we was allowed to take out the house. Yeah. Now they got $1,000 device that they could do whatever they want with, and it's just the things that they have access to makes their challenges unlike any generation previously. So the thing that we have to do as adults is give them game. Like give them game. They're going to get the experience, whether you like it or not. Yeah. They're going to be where you told them not to be. Now the question is, did you give them the tools to survive? Did you give them the tools to come home? Or did you say that wasn't going to be my baby? So I hope I didn't, rub nobody the wrong way with that one. But
tell the truth on it.
That's the guy tell the truth.
You gotta tell the truth, yo. Did y'all see that Cat Williams dip?
Yeah, I seen the Cat Williams.
My goodness.
Joint. Yeah. That joint was crazy.
That joint was.
You said you read like 3,000 books in a year.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah. No, it was. He said from 9 to 12.
Yeah, 9 to 12.
9 to 12. That's still.
I still watch.
I haven't read 5 books in my whole life.
Yeah, bro.
3,000. I'm not a reader now. I've watched close to probably that many hours in documentaries and movies and listen to tapes, but I'm not a reader. So, but to sit down and read. His language is crazy, like
he can say anything,
and
that's why he can write so many jokes.
Yeah, you can, and I don't even think a lot of his jokes, like, because you can see in his personal interaction, like when he's performing, some of that stuff is on the spot, like. Yeah. So in order to be that creative, you gotta be all the way into super whatever.
Expensive.
Yeah, super expensive. So, and that's probably one of the most exciting things about, watching that interview and him, unveiling that, because I had never heard that. Like, there are no Cat Williams documentaries, so I didn't have the opportunity. I don't have the opportunity to learn about Cat until he's talked about it in this interview.
Like a real businessman.
Yeah. So, but to see that he is such an intellectual.
Perception versus reality.
You said he left home at 13 because he wanted to be like Jesus.
Yeah.
Said,
hey, yo, like, that's real.
Left home at 13.
Like, it sounds crazy, but that's really real. Like, to make that decision and be like, no, that's like, that's
the Bible said this. I want to do this.
That's what it said. If you read it,
yeah.
And he really lived on it and moved on it and was a man about it. So not people can do that, and that's been one of my missions. Like, at a minimum, I just want to be like a glimmer, a reflection of what the homie was like. Like, that's it. Like, just let me, when they see me, just let them see a little bit of you at the best I can. You feel me? So, but to really jump out and do that thing and follow the script, the play that's in the Bible, grip by grip.
Yeah, nobody really takes it that literally.
Nobody,
especially at that age.
Yeah, because what's gonna happen at the end if you do?
Yeah,
you gotta give your life for it, right?
Yeah. Jump.
Right, and it's not even just about, we talk about the crucifixion, but we just the sacrifice of giving your life to it. We talked about with this Pittsburgh Bullets thing. Like, I had to decide that I was going to sacrifice my life for it, or give my life to it if I wanted to live past me. So, it's nuts. Yeah, it's definitely nuts.
Anything you do, you got to want to live past you. You gotta give your life to it. That's fact.
You gotta give your life to it. So no, I appreciate you guys for having me.
Appreciate you for coming on today.
Yeah, no doubt. So I've been filling the cup. so now it's time to get back out in the street, and I gotta pour a little out everywhere I go.
Where can people find you on social media?
Social media, PGH Cloud9 on Instagram.
We're gonna throw some up there and post.
Oh yeah, I got you. My bad. PGH Cloud9 on Instagram. You can search me, Marcus Robinson, on Facebook. Google Pittsburgh Bullets. You'll get to see, all the things that we've done over the last 10 years, all the events, all the places that I've traveled, all the people that I've interacted with. And you also be able to get to see some of the things that are coming in the future. So, and then also, if you want to get some Pittsburgh Bullets gear, if you want to take a look at some of my brand partners, you can visit thecloud9collection.com. Thecloud9collection.com. So a lot of good stuff on there. Everything that you need for yourself and for your family. But we have a Black-owned business initiative, so there's going to be a lot of Black-owned businesses that you may not be aware of that you'll be able to get connected with, and just a lot of really elite products. So I don't know if you guys know what it means to be on Cloud 9. You've heard it in a song,
I've heard it, yeah.
right? It's just a dope experience. Like, it's a euphoric experience. It's like top of the line, prime quality. Like, Cloud 9 is it. Like, Cloud 9, heaven's here, Cloud 9 is right below it. So that's the whole initiative, or the focus behind what I do, is to provide that type of experience. So when I pull up, it's like it's about to be right. Right, it's going to be good for everybody. So most of my brand, or all of my brand partners, have made the effort and the commitment to be able to provide those types of products and services through your experience. So yeah, please feel free to take a look or hit me directly, and we might have some new stuff on deck.
Sir.
So, yeah. Marcus, we appreciate you, man, for taking time out of, it was a Sunday and you came out here, so we really appreciate that.
Sunday's the best day of work. Yeah, you got to work. You got to get in every day.
Thank you for coming out here.
We appreciate you coming on. So, y'all definitely tap in with Marcus and PGH Cloud 9 and tap in everything he's doing. They got a bunch of cool events, a bunch of new stuff coming. Super, super excited for, 20 years of work now, and there's more to come.
More to come.
Got a lot of new stuff coming.
A lot of new
events.
Heat. A lot of new heat. I would have told you more, but I want you to.
We'll have you back again.
Episode 2. You have to save it for episode. We had to save something for next episode.
I got to come back annually, because it's just the heat. I ain't even turned the oven on yet, bro. It's on preheat right now.
350.
Wait till we start cooking.
Yeah. So definitely appreciate you guys, and be blessed.
Yeah, y'all are going to have to wait till the next episode for that. So shout out Marcus for coming on. We really appreciate you. Shout out y'all for tuning in. We hope y'all, he dropped a lot of great gems, so hopefully you got something for it. Well, actually not hopefully. You better have got something from it. And if not, you might need to watch it again.
Run it back. Run it back.
Loco's out, man.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.